Hello my lovelies! It may come as no small shock to you that I spend a lot of time online. I love watching shows and I really like Dungeons and Dragons. Controversial opinion, I know. I've been watching a lot of Dimension 20. I recently finished up The Ravening War, which is an amazing sequel to Crown of Candy. And what can I say? I got inspired. So today I'm going to be incoherently rambling, what else is new, while I draw a character for Crown of Candy and the setting of Calorum. Hopefully give you some ideas, some interesting tips, and take you through how I create a character that fits into a pre-existing setting. Let's go! I already had a little bit of a sketch going, so I just decided to keep building off of that. I did a few little basic shape studies, kind of got a feel for both the clothing that I wanted to draw inspiration from and the plant that I wanted to draw inspiration from. For this project, I decided to focus on herbs, spices, and edible flowers and plants. Obviously in Calorum, I'm not quite sure which way that is pronounced. There are fruits and vegetables and all sorts of, a manner of people. But I did wonder about what the culture of herbs and spices would be. They don't belong on any one thing. They aren't just something that goes with fruit or something that goes with vegetables or meat or dairy. Edible plants and flowers and herbs and spices go with pretty much everything. That's when I decided to make this character part of a travelling culture, a group of travellers who never really stay in any one place at any one time. I like to think that their motto, whether it be their own or potentially their entire cultures, is "We belong everywhere." They are a group of people who belong to no one place but rather go with anything or anyone and are highly adaptable. Speaking of adaptability, the very specific plant that this young lady is a yarrow flower. For those of you who aren't familiar, yarrow is edible, was used in a number of alcoholic beverages, shall we say, throughout the years, but is also really well known for being a medicinal herb. It's edible, versatile, and was frequently used to dress wounds. It's got a really interesting property where when it's applied to a wound in the right quantities, it can actually help clot. So that's the food inspiration for this character. As for the clothing, you can see I'd already done a few little sketches. I like the idea that the flowers on her head pop out the back of her hat like a ponytail. The majority of the clothing inspiration here comes from traditional Russian and Slavic clothing. There's a lot of use of medallions and coins to help adorn the layered fabrics that come in red, white, and usually little splashes of green. Yarrow is typically yellow, pink, white, red, and so it felt like a really nice match colour-wise. You've got the green of the plant, the green of the potential highlights on some of the fabric, the reds and yellows, that all just seem to mesh together really well. I do hasten to add that this is not the only reference I'm using here, so this is not accurate to any one culture. I'm also drawing a little bit of inspiration from smaller travelling communities. Eastern Europe is home to a lot of culture meshing, lots of different little bits and pieces that are shared across multiple cultures. A lot of places in Europe share traditions be it food, be it clothing, etc. And so I tried to emulate that in the look of this young lady. Drawing from yarrow's medicinal properties, I really liked the idea that this young lady, I'm not sure what class I would pick for her, especially maybe an alchemist, but certainly she'd be a healer. I really like the idea that she creates poultices and potions, healing her allies and staunching the flow of blood, just like her real-life flower counterpart does. We interrupt this drawing for a quick little aside as I go over some of the ways that I tried to come up with names for this character. If you've not watched Crown of Candy or The Ravening War, they tend to have very punny names. One of the things I started to do was just write down anything and everything. I started brainstorming a bunch of different names. Yarrow, on top of its kind of various Latin classifications, also has a lot of varieties. It has ones that make reference to its feather-like leaves, making me wonder if Ptarmica and ptarmigan, which is a kind of bird, could be a clever play on words. They also reference some of the beautiful colours that are found in yarrow. They reference royalty. They reference beautiful women, of all things, and a variety of other more technical bits and pieces. Some of the more colloquial words for yarrow reference sanguinousness, for want of a better word, aka your life fluid. They reference wound dressing and all sorts of other relevant and historical things. In addition, I also found reference to a young woman called Elspeth, who was infamously tried and unfortunately found guilty of witchcraft, who infamously claimed that she could cast spells curing or causing illness by plucking the flowers and petals of yarrow. Tune in at the end to find out what her name is. Alright, that's enough of me blabbering on. I'm going to let you sit back, watch me attempt to colour my little yarrow girl in, and I'll meet you at the end so we can look at the final images and find out what her name is. well, there she is. I'd like to introduce you all to Elspeth Sanguinova. I honestly had a really nice, just fun, chill time drawing this and also watching a little bit of Dimension 20, so hopefully you also had a nice chill time, and if you've not watched Dimension 20, maybe this will tempt you a little bit. I'm just going to throw a few other bits and pieces I've been working on recently on the screen. If you would be interested in, you know, following what I'm up to, then please do follow me on all the usual socials. It's the Small Brit, SMOL, and yes, I hope to see you sometime. And speaking of time, I'll see you all next time.